Milford, our in-studio guests this morning from the Casino Free Group. We have Steve Treadle and John Seaver and Rob Mitchell. They've been here a couple of times before and are working to keep us informed about their side of this issue. You guys met with Selectmen this week, sharply critical of what Foxwoods has been doing or not been doing. John, Steve said, they haven't really told us any of the bad stuff that's going to go on. Tell me today.
It's absolutely true. We got one side of the picture presented by them. Everything's rosy. Traffic is actually going to improve. Crime is going to be the same or go down.
You believe that?
There's ample water. I don't believe any of it. If someone had presented both sides and then let the chips fall where they may, that would have been impressive. But we got the exact opposite of that. It was all one-sided, and they talked out of both sides of their mouth. 1 minute, Scott Patero was saying, "Oh, the property values are going to go down near the casino in East Milford." Then by the fourth session, he was saying they were going to go up. Now, how believable is that?
You said in one of the releases that some of the information that they've given out has been dangerously biased, misleading, and incomplete. Steve, Rob, that's just what John's talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And the whole process really was run by Foxwoods, and I was
You called them PR sessions.
Yes, I was bitterly disappointed about that. Those sessions should have been run by the town, and it should have been totally neutral, and both sides of the issue not only vetted by a few questions after, but in the presentations as well.
At this point, how do you get them to do that? Is it too late?
They don't want to do that. They are salesmen, and they want something from Milford. So they're going to present just their side, their facts. They're going to cherry-pick the reports. They're going to ignore things that are negative about the casino. And that's their game. Our game is the opposite. We're going to present... we're all from Milford. As we were talking about the storefront.
You guys have a storefront downtown?
We don't need a storefront, Ed. We're from Milford. We're here. We're the hometown team. We don't need a storefront. They need a storefront. They need to bring in the union guys from out of town to do the standouts, because we don't need that. We got Milford people doing it.
Yeah, let me give you an example.
Go ahead.
They brought in, they're parading people in front of the town. One of the examples is that they brought in an ex-selectman from Stonington.
Yes.
And what he said was, this is only 1/8 the size of what Foxwoods is down in Connecticut.
Yep.
So I actually disputed that. I ended up with a several-minute argument against Mr. Reardon, and actually Sid shut me off. The bottom line is it's about the same size. It's about the same. But the bottom line is we don't have the opportunity to refute what is being said. They get up there, they stand up there. Someone who's brand new to this whole casino effort is hearing, don't worry about it. It's 1/8 the size. You won't even feel it. Okay, it's going to be a little prick. Well, it honestly is going to be a major burden on this town. The traffic is going to be terrible, but they parade it out and they produce it as fact, which it is not.
Let's talk about that. You said the traffic, and you say in this report, the information on traffic that was provided fails the test of common sense and believability. A strong statement. You guys, Rob and Steve, are engineers. Steve?
Well, I come at it from a common sense point of view.
Okay.
We don't need a 200-and-something page report to understand what traffic on 495 is like right now during commuting times, and especially on a Friday night trying to get home. People experience that. They know that. So what happens when you add 25,000 to 35,000 more cars to that mix on 495? They dealt with getting people off the exit. Okay, the exit's doable, can be engineered, but the fact that 495 is so impacted with traffic right now during commuting times, during times going to the Cape, people going to different things down on 495. That road is near its capacity, and we're going to add 25 to 35,000 more cars. How could that not impact us?
Do you think that even with that mitigation effort, with the ramp, that getting 25 to 28,000 cars a day into that casino, it's not going to back up even on that ramp? Is that a possibility, Rob?
It could. I'm not a traffic engineer. I'm not going to stand here and say that it is going to back up when the lights are changing. I know that when I go down to the mall down in, I can't even think of it.
Rentham. Oh, yeah.
That it backs up at Thanksgiving. We know that happens. We know that it's difficult getting home on 495 on a Friday afternoon when everyone's going down to the Cape. What I do know is that they haven't given the details for how they actually worked on the distribution coming to this facility. The example I used was Kelly's roast beef down in Revere. I love Kelly's roast beef. I've never been there. If I lived in Revere, I would probably be there every week. So it's highly unlikely that people from Milford are going to be half as likely or twice as likely to go to the casino as someone from Revere. It's just a number that they made up. I think they had the answer already written, and they had to come up with some kind of a factor to back up their answer. It's not based on any facts. The facts are based on Foxwoods, Connecticut data that they will not release. I don't know why they won't release it. We've asked for weeks and weeks, and it's not getting presented.
Mitigation efforts. You guys are concerned about, obviously, I guess, what's going to be in that host agreement that probably is a cookie cutter agreement that's going to be presented. Mitigation, they really have not gone into as far as you're concerned, John, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as you say, the host agreement...
$20 million in taxes, but we know what the taxes probably...
Well, that's an obligation, like you and me both. We all have tax obligations. That's not extra money. That's money that they have to pay, like any commercial business in Milford. So forget about the $20 million. That's an obligation that would, for any business that would go there with whatever assessed value. And then the extra money that they're, for the police and fire, that's really just to defer the additional new cost of 10 or 11 police officers and so forth. So where's the net gain? I don't see it.
Steve?
What I'm concerned about is this process. As I heard the motion the other night, it was a motion to turn it over to Jerry Moody and Sid, who is our attorney for the a legal firm that was hired to represent us.
Do you think? Let me just interject. Yeah. Do you think there's a too close relationship between the town's consultant and Foxwoods?
Well, I can't speak exactly the relationship because I don't know the two people. What I can do is speak to what I saw at those public hearings. It was like we had a person tell me. She asked me about some of the things that were going on in the hearings and the questions, and it came out that she assumed that Sid was working for Foxwoods, and that was just amazing. She's just looking on TV, and just by all the things that were going on, she.
So the aura is there.
So, yeah, I don't think we're being fairly represented by Sid at all. I think. I'm not saying he's dishonest or anything, but I'm saying he has the objective of making this work as opposed to making sure that the town is protected.
Quickly, in that mitigation, in that host agreement, what are a couple of the things that you'd like to see? Maybe one from John, one from Steve, and one from Rob before we go.
Well, one of the things that we mentioned at the Selectmen's meeting on Monday was that before the casino can open their doors, everything on the highway system has to be designed and operational. We don't want them opening the casino and no access via the new system, the new collector roads or 16. That's a deal breaker for us. Steve?
Water, sewer, there's still some other issues?
I want to talk about the issues, the impacts that were not addressed. And there are many. And these really are the non-engineered kind of issues, like crime, like the impact on schools, like the impact on our hospital system.
All that has to be included.
All that has to be included. Wasn't even addressed at all in the impact studies. And these are the things that are going to affect the residents of this town the most. And so what we're suggesting is that there needs to be in that host agreement escrow accounts for each of these items because we don't know, and the selectmen don't know, and our lawyers don't know, and Foxwoods really doesn't know what the effects are, and there should be upfront escrow accounts to cover efforts of mitigation. That's going to be necessary, and we know it's going to be necessary.
Rob, some of your concerns in the host?
Yeah, I don't know how to say this. Mitigation is to get rid of bad effects. The bottom line is, how much money do you want to get from these people for changing the nature, the culture of Milford? And I can't answer that. The bottom line is, we're going to get a couple $1 million for the police.
Money isn't going to make the problem go away.
Yeah, the thought I had was, remember Clinton? What's the definition of the word is? Well, the word of the day is the crime rate. Okay, the crime rate is not going to go up. That's what they're using. Well, the bottom line is, crime rate is how many crimes happen for every citizen here in Milford. Right. Well, when you double the population by doubling the number of people in town because of the casino, you are going to have the same crime rate, but double the number of crimes per resident. Okay, the number of crimes are going to go up. They're going to mitigate it, quote unquote, by having more policemen, and they will be responding to it. The bottom line is, there will be more crime. The crime rate is the same. They're using the crime rate. They're using words to get a message across, and frankly, they're misleading the public.
Just a quick question. You guys, obviously you're working on your own time doing all of this, going to meetings, researching things. Do you think you've been successful in getting your word out?
Yes, I think we're in great shape going into the fall. I mean, of course, July, August, people are on vacation, so they're not completely engaged. We expect a groundswell right after Labor Day. I mean, we're already beginning to see. I got 3 calls last night for signs and people I don't know. Just anecdotal information that I'm hearing. Yes, I think the majority of Milford people that are likely to vote are opposed to this. No question about it.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.